Hello!
Hello!
I'm Cathy.
I'm Rachel.
Welcome to the Lunabird Bookclub. This is our first video on this channel, so we thought we ought to begin by introducing ourselves, saying a little bit about what we like to read and what you can expect from this channel. So to do that, we have prepped some questions that we have stolen from new to Booktube book tags and added a couple of our own, and we'll be going through that.
We're kicking off with a bit of an easy one. Who are you?
I'm Cathy. Who are you?
I'm Rachel.
So easy. Question 2. How do you know each other?
Should I take this one?
Yes.
Okay, we met in church when... It's probably like 20 years ago.
Yes. Yes, it probably was.
So Cathy was 15, I'll have been about 6. My family moved to Cathy's family's church and we grew up, well, I suppose I grew up with Cathy growing up slightly older than me. But yeah, since then we've become really good friends and we spend a lot of time together.
Yeah.
Talking about books.
Yes. I think especially, we've been friends for a very long time. But I think just as the pandemic started and you started lending me books, which I guess we'll talk about soon, a car just went by so fast. I think it stopped now. But what I was saying was when the pandemic started, Rachel started lending me some books. And then we just could not shut up talking about them. And that's when our book friendship, I think, really began.
I suppose, yeah.
You suppose?
I feel like we spoke about books before that, but these books, the lending of these books, I suppose, led to a more intense discussion of things.
Yeah.
Number 3, why are you doing Booktube?
Okay, so there's a couple of reasons. I think one was that we were talking about books all the time anyway with each other and squeezing them in around other activities we were doing and trying not to annoy the people we were hanging out with too much.
We failed.
Yeah. And this is a way for us just to annoy different people.
Yeah. People who want to be annoyed.
People who want to be annoyed. People who've signed up to be annoyed by book chatter. And then the second reason why is I've just finished a degree in English literature and creative writing. So I went back to university a bit later in life and I've really enjoyed having lots of bookish discussions, and I don't want to stop talking about books, so I thought this would be a good way to keep the conversation going.
I'm going to pause the video here and say, Cathy, what did you get in your degree?
Why, Rachel? I got a first. I'm really happy with it.
She wasn't going to brag about it, so I made her.
This is what friends are for.
This is what friends are for. I suppose I'll add on to the end, as much as we love talking about books, with life getting busier, we aren't seeing each other as much. So for me, it's a way for us to have that specific time during the week and talking about things online through the week with planning and editing and things like that to just catch up and keep our friendship running.
Yeah, well, that's really lovely.
Aww.
I agree with that. Okay, next question is, why do you love reading?
Just a nerd, aren't I? I have always loved reading since I was little. I used to, when I got put to bed as a small child, I used to tell my parents that I was afraid of the dark, so they'd leave the landing light on and my door cracked open, and then I'd lie in bed with my book positioned in the beam so that I could read when I've been put to bed.
So were you ever actually scared of the dark?
I don't know. Probably, because children are scared of the dark, aren't they? But I feel like I used it as an excuse to have a light for reading. And then with the invention of technology, because for some reason I didn't use a torch, I don't know. With the invention of technology, I got a DS and then I didn't need the door open anymore, so the door would be closed and I'd have my DS on my bed and I'd lie on my pillow and hold my book like this so that I could read it in bed with the DS. Maybe this is why I have such bad eyes. But yeah, it's just, I don't know, for me, I suppose it's a way to use my creative imagination and escape the mundanity of life. Is that how you say mundanity?
I think so.
Sure.
It is now.
It is now. Why do you love reading?
I think the same, it's an escape, it's entertaining. I just find reading normally always launches me into storytelling in a way that even film and TV doesn't always manage to do. But with reading, you're lost in there very quickly. I do like the way that books are like a little time capsule into different times and places and cultures, but I'm really hypocritical about it. So I do love learning things through books and having glimpses, but I also really hate it if I feel like a book's preaching at me.
Yeah.
So I want that. I want the life lessons and I want to learn stuff, but you have to trick me into absorbing them. And if I find out that you're doing it, it puts me off the book.
Okay.
So like, I want to learn, but I don't want to know that I'm learning until I've learned.
I also want to add, it's just peaceful. You know, there's no noise unless you are doing audiobooks or have music on when you're reading. But for me, it's just a moment to just rest in the world and this one thing that is concrete in front of me. And yeah, it's just a nice little downtime.
Yeah, I do find it very restful. Even scary, dramatic books. It's still a restful activity to physically read them.
Yeah. You say, when I'm reading dramatic books, if I get to a dramatic bit and I'm reading before bed, that's not me sleeping till 3 a.m. So it's not particularly restful for me, but I can appreciate that you like that. Question number 5, what kind of books do you like to read?
Ooh, I like reading all kinds of books. So I do like fantasy, I love ghost stories and horror. I like reading classics and delving into different points of history and different cultures. I also like really cute cozy books where everything turns out well in the end, and books where women decide to transform their lives by opening a cake shop and on the beach. I love those kind of reads too. So yeah, I like a little bit of everything. What about you?
Well, I guess my true love when reading books is always going to be fantasy. I think I grew up reading a lot of YA fantasy, and yeah, it's just where I feel comfortable. I have been trying to broaden my genre horizon, so I am reading a bit more variation now, but generally speaking, fantasy.
I think fantasy was my first love in fiction too. The next question is, what book or series first got you into reading?
I don't know. I don't even know how to answer that.
Yeah, I don't ever remember not reading.
Right, that's the thing. I always read.
Yeah, so yeah, Morg, Beatrix Potter, Harry Potter, the point horror books. Were you too young for those? Okay, Goosebumps.
Yeah.
Okay, so point horror was like Goosebumps for like a year older than Goosebumps. So it was all like teenagers going to parties and there being a vampire there and stuff like that. Yeah, I really like those.
I read a lot of Enid Blyton books as a kid.
Oh, yeah.
And then there was this book series that I liked in primary school called... It was by Karen McCombie. Don't know if you know that author. And it was about a girl who lived at seaside. She moved to the seaside with her family. And the first book was called Frankie, Peaches and Me, I think. I'm not sure, but I really
Sounds delightful.
It was really cute. It was just this girl that moved to the seaside and the friends that she made there. Other than that, I think one of the first books I remember reading was a reading book from school that was about Rachel Rabbit, and I don't know if I've hooked onto that because it was called Rachel Rabbit, but I don't know.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think we've answered the question.
And you look.
Oh, look.
Did you read that with your child?
No, I don't think so.
Does it not exist anymore? That's really sad.
I don't remember the one-word books. But yeah, our school's definitely reception year. Just a book.
Was it a clown car or something? I don't remember. Question 7 is, what does your TBR look like?
Okay, we prepared a little something for this because our to-be-read piles are very different to one another. And we wanted to bring all the books on and show you, and then we realised that we can't do that. For reasons that will become clear. So what we did instead was we wrote down each book on our TBR. We wrote down the title of each book on a post-it note, folded it up, and put it in a glass like this. So this is mine. I did just count them. I think there was 17 or 18.
17.
17 books on my TBR.
That's more than I thought Cathy had.
Yeah, like I prefer, if I can, I like it to be 6 books at a time because that's the number that the library give you. And I feel that's a reasonable number to have. So I don't really like it being this many, but I did go through and count. Only 5 of these are ones that I've bought myself, and the rest are all gifts. So I don't know what. I feel like I'm trying to score points on that. And as I'm saying it, I'm realising that doesn't really mean anything.
No, but it does. It does mean things, and you will see why. Because this is my TBR. These are the same cup. Mine is absolutely crammers full. This is just the ones that I haven't even started. These are the ones that I am currently reading. There's about 8 ones in there that I'm reading all at the same time. I've just thrown that at the cat. Whoops.
Cat's fine.
The cat's fine. No animals were harmed in the making of this video. And this doesn't include my digital copies of books. I don't know if you have digital copies of books that you're not reading.
No.
That are on your To Be Read. But I have the bad habit of buying books and then not reading them because they are very different hobbies. And I like to own things. And I mean, some of these books are gifts or ones that I'm borrowing off people that I've had for a long time and haven't started.
Yes.
But I don't know what it is, you know. I've dropped some on the floor. I'm going to pick them up.
It's okay.
I don't know how many there are here. Should we count them on video? It would take too long.
We might count them later.
We might count them later. But now you can see why I couldn't transport all of these books to Cathy's house in the back of my car in the rain when they're covered in dust because our bathroom is being done. But yeah, and I guess that's one of the reasons why I am on board for Lunabird Bookclub, because I'm hoping that with the humiliation of having this shown on camera, I might actually start reading them and lessen it. So yeah.
Do you want to do cheers?
Cheers.
Our last question is, what's next? What videos are going to be coming out on this channel?
I'm glad you asked. Earlier in the video, Cathy hinted at the fact that I made her read a book series during lockdown, slightly before lockdown.
Yeah.
What series was that, Cathy?
It was The Wheel of Time.
It was The Wheel of Time. The Wheel of Time, if you don't know, is a 14-book fantasy series with a novel. So that's 15 books in total. Cathy has read them all at my decision, I suppose.
Because I enjoyed reading them.
I'm really glad to hear that. The Wheel of Time is one of my favourite series. It just takes up a lot of real estate in my head. So our next video is going to be talking about Cathy's first reactions to the series as a whole as a first-time reader, and a little bit of discussion about what she liked, what she didn't like. As Cathy was reading Wheel of Time, she would send me little messages about what she thought, and I would ask her questions. And at the time, I regretted not putting that in a more formal format, like a blog or a podcast. So to combat that and to fulfill my own desires, we will have some more videos as well about different books in the series, maybe different characters, different plot arcs and things like that. And we'll maybe talk about the TV show that's coming out in September as well.
I'm excited.
I'm excited too, but hold your horses. And I think because this is a series that really got us properly talking about reading together, that's going to be not a big part of our YouTube channel, but a respectful part of our YouTube channel. So keep your eyes peeled for more videos about that. But
yeah, and we'll probably do like other book reviews of what else we've been reading, and roundups and the other booktube stuff that people know and like, and that I love watching on other people's channels. Okay, so those are all our questions. I hope you feel like you know us a little bit more now. If we've planned this right, the Wheel of Time video should also be up right now. So we'll either link it below or there, or however this works. It's our first video. We're figuring it out.
Cut us some slack, guys. If you have enjoyed listening to us talk, make sure to like and subscribe and turn on your notifications so that you can see all of our future videos. And if you want to ask us any questions or give us some book recs or tell us about your opinions on the Wheel of Time, leave a comment below and we will love to hear from you.
Thank you so much for watching.